Olympics is about to commence. Now, the real storylines are behind the scenes. Yes, indeed. Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni already trickling out little nuggets for Big Sills to eat. Man, this is great stuff. Please hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. How you doing? And by the way, at 3:30, we will have Doug Peterson, the former head football coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, with us. Little special nugget for you. Got some pretty good questions to ask him. That'll be at 3:30 Eastern time. Make sure you set your clocks, your watches, your phones, your tablets. I don't care what else. We are going to be talking to Doug. That'll be at 3:30. We will be talking to our friend. So I'm looking forward to that. We got a confirmation yesterday, and also we got a confirmation on him. Want to double check that just to be dang sure there with old Dougie Peterson. Absolutely. So Doug's going to be with us. That'll be, again, at 3:30 Eastern time. So we're looking forward to that. All right. So A.J. Brown, as we have been predicting, A.J. Brown, Nick Sirianni asked, and I'll paraphrase, I can't guarantee he's back in 26. The future of A.J. Brown, the door is ajar, as we've been telling you. Hey, some of these people here think that A.J.'s coming back. I don't. Okay, you don't go into the combines saying you're open for business. We said it yesterday. No, oh, really? Sue, you knew that. Bullshit. All of you in here said he ain't going nowhere. Bullshit. Bullshit. Most of you in here said he ain't going nowhere. Okay? No. You ain't walking shit back. Oh, it's obvious? Oh, it's obvious. I thought everything was already like, wait, there's no chance he's being moved because he's in the money. Okay? Yeah, right, flexing. Hey, get this guy. Nah. Ain't working. Open for business. Open for business. Don't use big words on Sills. What's that? Like, hypothesize? How you doing? We told your ass. Open for business. Oh, and by the way, the head football coach comes out and says, yeah. Okay? Yeah. All the things that we had said, too. Once again, we're starting out this offseason, again, right on the nail. Bang! 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 You'll hear it here. 2 days later, you'll hear it there. We'll give you a little insight on Jaelan Phillips, too, on what he's thinking about with the Philadelphia Eagles, because we had a pretty good conversation with Drew Rosenhaus as he was on his way to Indianapolis and St. Elmo's to have lunch and dinner with Howie Roseman. Lunch, Jaelan Phillips. Dinner, Jalen Carter. So let's get into it. How you doing? It's not definite, no shit. Eagles are listening to offers for A.J. Brown. So I thought, wait a minute here. And by the way, Howie's doing this right. We don't get rid of great players. That's not how you get better. He's doing the right thing here by making sure the value of the player doesn't diminish. He's absolutely correct to say this. This guy's a pro at what he does. He really is. He's really good at being in the position right now. And we can't keep and here's another little nugget. We can't keep all of our guys coming off rookie deals. No, we're going to have to make choices. Howie Roseman. So we got a bunch here today. Hit the like button. We appreciate each and every single one of you. As we said, Doug Peterson will be with us at 3:30. We're going to talk to the legendary coach who delivered your first Super Bowl here in the city of brotherly love. All right. So what will move the needle for the Eagles to move A.J. Brown? I think they want to be fair to A.J. Brown. They could easily move him to the Browns. The Browns need a wideout. Do you want to send A.J. Brown to Shedeur Sanders? Is that where A.J. wants to finish his career? Is with the Cleveland Browns? I would think not. Especially since, get this, A.J. Brown has been the best wide receiver in Philadelphia Eagle history. There's nobody better than him. He will leave here mission accomplished. If this is his final year this past season, mission accomplished. He delivered every single thing, broke every record, was a sensational ball player. No question. 2 Super Bowl appearances, a win, records out the ass, the best receiver in the history of the franchise. Okay? Best ever. Now, again, talking about the best player that's ever played the position, that's Terrell Owens. But the best career, even though it's a short, brief career, longevity-wise, obviously it's Mike Quick. But A.J. Brown is the most accomplished wide receiver in Philadelphia Eagle history. Okay? Get this. Devontae Smith, being a 2, is the greatest wide receiver in Eagle history. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Like, nobody believes that. Okay? Nobody believes that. Nobody on the planet. The best receiver in the history of the Eagles is a number 2. Sure, guy. Sure. If A.J. Brown wants out, he ain't picking where he's going. Fuck that. Best deal gets him. Okay? A realist. Not a hater. I don't give a shit either way, Flex. You got me wrong, dude. I don't give a shit either way. The same thing last year. Howie basically said if the offer was good enough. Yeah, but the head football coach didn't say, I can't guarantee. I'll read you the fucking quote, guy. I posted it on Twitter or on X. I'll give you exactly what he said. Exactly what he said. And he was asked the question, here. And Nick Sirianni, this is Nick Sirianni. Okay? Sirianni was asked. He goes, I don't know. I can't guarantee that. Will AJ be here next season? I think we're still in a spot like I can't guarantee how things are going to play out for this coming season. I can't tell you or guarantee that he's back. How you doing? Angry about what? Sports talk, Prince? Yeah, okay. I got other things I could be angry about, guy. Sports talk, that ain't one of them. This all stems back to Hurts' inability to throw on time. Absolutely correct. Absolutely. Sills hating is why Jalen Hurts is the top most hated player in the league. Yeah, it's me. I'm the reason that Hurts is the most hated guy in football. Yeah, that's right. It's me. Sills, we all know. Hey, by the way, Prince, don't get your panties in a bind because reality's starting to come to a head here that your boy may not be here, and it looks like he won't be here. Don't get your panties in a bind, guy, that we were right again. Sills, we all know that Howie asks and listens about everyone. Yeah, you're missing it, Bob. The head coach is saying he's not sure he's here. When have you ever heard Nick Sirianni say that you're not sure the player's going to be here? I know Howie's a car salesman. I get it. I'm not talking about Howie. I'm talking about Nick. By the way, Both had to be talked back into playing. We weren't wrong. They had to be talked back into playing. That signal to stop them. Okay? Sills, money talks. So do draft picks. Okay? What Central American country name is, wrong show, man. You must be looking for the Democrat thing that's going to be like boycotting tonight. That's more your lane over there. I think you'd be more suited over there. I know, Sills. Nick opened his mouth and gave away leverage. There you go, Bob. I can't guarantee that he'll be here. Oh, okay. Eagles met with Harold Parkins. Wasn't he the linebacker you talked about 2 years ago? Bingo. Bingo. Way to keep. Hey, Kyle, I appreciate you more than you know. Not that you all only contribute, but that you keep receipts for big sells. I can't thank you enough. Because what these people will do is try to change the narrative. Like they loved Hurts when he was drafted. And now everybody's a big Jalen Hurts fan. They call it flip-flopping. You want to know flip-flopping? Go back to draft day when you guys drafted Hurts. Go back and ask yourselves, are you lying? Like Flexen would say? I bet you Flexen's lying. I love the pick. It was the best pick in the history of the National Football League. I couldn't believe we picked our quarterback. How you doing? Yeah, okay. Never. Well, I'm not buying it. AJ was not considered an elite receiver until he came to Philadelphia. How many second-team All-Pros? He got how many 1,000-yard seasons? Eagle records in Super Bowl. He had 1,000-yard seasons in Tennessee. You must not have looked those numbers up. He just wasn't the focal point. The focal point of those Tennessee teams was the running back. The running back was the focal point of those teams. He wanted to be the focal point. And when he initially got here, he was. When they added Saquon Barkley, he was back to his role and being the guy who was second seed to a running back. He was second seed to a running back in Tennessee, and now he's a second seed to a running back in Philadelphia. Boy, we got a lot of good nuggets coming out today, boy. I'll tell you. Let's see here. Flexen been saying trade to Diva for like a year. Really? Okay. Sills, on the other hand, never admit when he's wrong. Yes, I have. It's very seldom, but yes, I have. Yes, I have. By the way, what a big day for Sills. Today I talked to Marcus Erickson, a former F1 driver and IndyCar driver. Now I'm going to be talking to Doug Peterson. Talked to Will Powers on Friday. Talked to Jim Lampley over the weekend. We are just killing it, man. All the big stars come to our shows. How you doing? Says a lot of groundwork will be done on a Brown trade this week in Indy. Yes. DFW, who I killed when he first came here, is turning out to be a spectacular sports guy. And I enjoy talking to this guy. This guy's good, man. He will be traded either at the beginning of free agency or at the draft. I like this guy. This guy's turning out to be like spectacular. Good for you, dude. Seals, I think Howie will move quick on AJ. Howie likes to set the market, and other moves could diminish AJ's trade value. I think you're going to get more leverage as you get closer to. I agree with DFW. I think you get more leverage as you get closer to the draft because you're going to have more teams because free agency is not very good this year. Pickens is going to get tagged, and then what other wide receivers out there? Here, let me look. So wide receiver-wise, here's AJ's value. Let's see. Pickens is going to get tagged. So you could take his ass off the board. The Cowboys aren't letting him loose. What's the next big wide receiver that's going to be on the open market? This is why A.J. Brown's going to be and maybe the Eagles are going to get exactly what they – Romeo Doubs is the second best receiver after Pickens. Dude. And then you got Juan Jennings. A.J. Brown is going to be an enormous haul for the Eagles if they do this right. He'll get an enormous haul because free agency, I mean, Romeo Doubs after Pickens? No way. No way. Hey, Sills, what positions will Howie attack in free agency? According to what I'm hearing out of him, he's Temu shopping again. We'll hit on that. Okay? If AJ doesn't want to restructure, they're not trading him. I think AJ does want to restructure and does want out. Yeah, guess what? And you say the most predictable shit. When Brown is gone, redo Smith's contract and front load to relieve cap. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But wait a minute. 401. Why not go do that with Hurts's contract? Why not do that with... This is all hypothetical? I heard your coach say today, I don't guarantee, I can't guarantee. You're fucking bringing him back. What do you mean hypothetical? Your head football coach said, I can't guarantee he's back. It's in fucking quotes. Stop lying. Stop lying. Seals, we ain't going to replace this guy for years. We already struggled for years to find a wide receiver. Now we want to get rid of the best wide receiver you had in years. Actually, the best wide receiver you've ever had. You ain't hearing shit. You're not plugged into anybody in Philly. Man, shut the fuck up. You're getting cooked already, buddy. Really? Who, me? Well, Doug Peterson's coming on at fucking 3:30. You could talk to his ass. And we'll ask him if the Eagles reached out to him about joining the coaching staff. What do you think he's going to say? I already told you months ago that the Eagles had reached out to Frank Reich, and all of a sudden now it's news that it was close that Frank was joining. He even said it here. Plugged in. Hey, Deshae, how you doing? Definitely getting cooked. Why? Because here, this is why these guys are saying I'm getting cooked. Watch this. Nick Sirianni. Will AJ be here next year? I think we're still in a spot I can't guarantee how it's going to play out this season. That's cooked. That's fucking fact, guy. Cooked. Why? With truth? Justice? And the Big Sills way? Easy to replace a guy who drops passes deliberately and causes distraction and cries for the ball in the media. Okay? Easy to replace that guy. It's not. Sills, if DJ Moore gets traded before AJ, will it help or help AJ's value? AJ's a better player. I think the free agent market helps AJ. Sirianni said, no job is good. That's not what he said. Holy shit, these guys were addressed. Hey, listen, you can make all that bullshit all you want. Okay? You can spin it any way you want, spin doctors. All good. Fucking crazy. You want to hear what you want to hear. A.J. Brown was the only guy with the balls to speak the truth about the damn offense last year. Absolutely. Let's see. You stupid if you think A.J. will be replaced. I don't. A.J. was nobody before he came to the Birds. This organization was blessed. If he was a nobody, why'd you trade a 1 for him? Why'd you trade a 1 for him and give him $30 million? If he was the nobody. You traded to Tennessee a first-round pick for a nobody? Solid take. Okay? If Howie's going to Timu again, is somebody getting an extension? Like who? So it's your take on Akeem Messidor. I think he's a fabulous player. He's got a great motor. He was underrated and overlooked because of Bain's greatness. He's a really good football player. I like him. As a matter of fact, if you look at the edges that have come out of Miami over the last 10 years, all of them are playing in the league. You had Jaelan Phillips. You got the kid up in Rousseau, who's playing at Buffalo. So the edge rushers that Miami has had over the last couple of years have all panned out to be great. Harold Carmichael was overrated. Nick said he can't guarantee AJ's back, nor could he guarantee he'd be the head coach. Can't guarantee anything beyond tomorrow. What is he, a prophet? Who's he? Confucius? Confucius Nick. Or maybe Confused Nick. How about Confused Nick? We sucked before AJ, you all tripping, but hey, listen, he is the best player. That's correct. That's probably more so. That's right. If Messidor wasn't 25 years of age, he'd go higher. But he's going to go at the lower end of the first round, maybe into the top end of the second round because he's 25. Talking about a 7-year career where I think he could be very productive for you. Not really. I don't really think any quarterback is worth a shit in this draft. And that includes the top pick. Hey, I'll tell you, bro. You don't have to fucking guess. Ask a question. Carson Beck, he was a dude. He was a decent college player. I don't know. He's like Stetson Bennett. He's one of them guys. Stetson Bennett, Carson Beck, same guy. So I think AJ's gone. So do I. It's been brewing for years. If we can get back what we gave, you're not. Yeah, well, yeah. You know what? Because of free agency, I think you are going to get, like, if you trade him to Buffalo, you're going to get a 1. If you trade him to New England, you're going to get a 1. AJ and Hurts. Hurts $50 million a year, and still it's about you and not the team. Wow, how much money does it take to put team first? AJ and Hurts. Hurts $50 million a year, and still it's about you. Like, are you talking about Jaelan? I don't think Jaelan thinks that way. But if you're saying AJ does feel that way. AJ wants the offense to go through him. I told you this. I told you this 2 years ago. As long as Saquon Barkley is on this football team, 2 guys will not have the numbers that they'll ever want. A.J. Brown will always be in the rear view of a running back, and Jalen Hurts will never have elite numbers as long as they run the ball. He'll never have elite numbers. He has never had a 6-year career so far. As a passer, as a runner, he's had elite numbers. He's a better quarterbacks. He's one of the top 3 running backs. Well, it's about time you drafted the guy 10th. AJ just being on the field made it better. Yes. Smitty has a 1 with Cooper and Wilson is a joke. Passing game will struggle with those 3 guys. And we legit won us 2 NFC championships because of the attention. Correct. Yes. AJ just being, yes, that's correct. I'd like to see him at Buffalo, low-key, just to see what AJ could do with a bona fide quarterback throwing him the rock. And we get a 1 for him, obviously. Yes, I agree with that. By the way, I would say this for sure. If you trade his ass to Buffalo or New England, you're getting a 1. I think the free agent market is going to help without a doubt. Okay? I completely believe that. Sales, Nick makes 0 sense. If the job is not guaranteed, why does he play risk averse? People who believe they might not have a job usually let it rip. Nick knows he's safe. I know. I believe he's safe too. I believe he's safe. I do. He won't be going to New England. Why? First round pick? Sending him to Drake May and out of the conference? Here's what I would do to AJ. Okay? Here's what I would do. Personally, I'd send him out of the conference if I could. And I'd send him to a winner and get me a first rounder. You mean to tell me I'd have the 30th pick or the 28th pick and the 23rd pick? I can maybe box that up, move down. Hey, if I got the 31st pick, think about this. If I got the 31st pick, I'd move down and out into the second and maybe get a 1 for next year. Okay? I don't know what's going on here with the mute. I don't know. I have no idea. We're not muted anywhere. Okay? The audio's off? Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say here. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think it's on them. Thank you, Mikey. Okay. Refresh what? You refresh. Audio's, dude, there's nothing wrong with our audio. I hear you. Yeah, we're good. Let's see here. Let's go back up here. You're good, Sales. Viewers got to refresh. Yeah, that's on their ass, not me. Let's see. Sales, we're talking to people in the chat, dummy. Oh, okay. Dummy. Way to go, flexing. So, hey, Sue taking shots? Sue's all right with me, man. Sue's all right with me. Where's Prince? It's YouTube, not the dumbass. Yeah. I refreshed it shitty YouTube lately. How you doing? Of course, too, and we're going to get Doug Peterson on at 3:30. Yeah, of course, right? So today they decided to do that. All right, so hey, so let me give me a thumbs up. Can you guys hear us here? I want to know if we're talking to anybody or not. Yeah, make sure, not me, dude. There's nothing we can do. Prince, you got me right. All right, good. For me, I'm doing the deal. All right. Loud and clear. Thank you, Bob. All good. All right. Yeah. So listen, I'm trading to a team that helps me get a 1, potentially a 3, and maybe a 5. If I could get a 1, 3, or 5, okay, for me, that's what I'm doing. AJ is staying in Philly. Big sales for DC. How you doing? Amen. So if AJ leaves, Sills, what's the route you think the Eagles will take to find a replacement? I know it's tough to replace AJ, but what the fuck, I mean, what I would do, Eduardo, I'd go in the draft. That would change your draft philosophy. You have to go in the draft in the second round. I'd go in the draft and then the second round. And you could get him on a rookie deal. So you get the guy in a rookie deal. Look how many great players have gone in the second round. All right? By the way, we got a little bit of insight. I spoke to Adam Kaplan again, and some stuff came out in the last couple days about Jeff Stoutland. I'll let you know here a little bit more too. Just because Nick said he doesn't know if AJ will be here, I don't think that means anything because Nick's influence is about gone. I don't believe Nick's influence is gone at all. I think they're pushing their chips all in on Nick. I definitely try to secure another pick in a future draft and try to trade up for Jeremiah Smith in 27. That's what I would do. If I'm going to trade a pick, let's do this. If I trade a pick, and let me say this to you, okay? Here, think about this. How many people believe that New England's going to make a step back? Let me see the current draft order. NFL draft order. I'm going to show you a philosophy here. NFL draft order. Okay. Seattle Seahawks are picking last. New England's 31. Denver's 30. Rams are 29. Houston Texans are 28. San Francisco's 27. Buffalo's 26. And Chicago is 25. Okay. Jacksonville, by the way, is 24. How about you do this? Trade A.J. Brown to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Trevor Lawrence. You get that 24th pick. You trade out of the draft for that 24th pick out of the first round. You pick up a first-round pick in the 27 draft. And you're banking on the Jags to take a step back and not be as good. Potentially, remember, they went from 4 wins also to like 13 wins. And all of a sudden, that pick could potentially be a top 10 pick. You feel me? Trade AJ to Jacksonville. They need a wideout on the other side of Thomas. Right? You put him on the other side of Thomas. What else do they have? You got Travis Hunter. They didn't have Travis Hunter all year. So you would have Travis Hunter, A.J. Brown, and that kid Thomas from LSU. You'd be banking on that the Jags will step backwards. You trade out. You trade for a first-rounder in 27. Dude, that pick could turn into being a top 10 pick. Like, you might want that pick in 27. Or how about this? You trade him to the Patriots, or actually you take that Patriots 31st pick. Hell, dude, that Patriots 31st pick, you trade out of the first round, and you trade with a team up in the high, like the Raiders, the Jets, the Cardinals, Titans. You trade with one of those teams, and you trade your first-round pick that you got from New England to one of those teams, and in 27, you end up getting a first-round pick that could be a top 10 pick. Then you're talking about going after Jeremiah Smith. Pat stepped back. They got a schedule next year like we had this year. Yeah, I think they trade back. I think they're going to step backwards. Seals, New England steps back because they will be playing a first-place schedule, easier to hunt than be hunted. Correct. Was never high on Thomas nor Harrison. Thomas had a great year. Let me double-check that. Kim. I thought Thomas had a great year for Jacksonville. I thought he played pretty well this year. I may be wrong. Let's see. You're right. Thomas had 707 and only 48 catches in 14 games. You're right. As a matter of fact, I can't believe that. Trevor Lawrence threw for 4,000 yards with not one wide receiver over 900 yards. Parker Washington, 847. 707. 540. Wow. Trevor Lawrence threw for $4,000 and 30 touchdowns with no 1,000-yard receiver. That's pretty incredible. He had a better season than I thought. Trade AJ to the Raiders. Raiders are not trading their number 1 overall pick. How many picks do the Raiders have in the first round? Yeah, you're not getting the first pick in the draft for A.J. Brown. You'd have to send more. You'd have to send 1, a 3, and a 5 to get the first round pick. A.J. Brown for the number 1 overall. Raiders need a quarterback. Eagles schedule as a first place schedule since we played in the Super Bowl in 22. You didn't have a first place schedule in 2024. You didn't win the division in 20. Did you win the division in 23? I thought the Cowboys won the division in 23. Didn't the Cowboys win the division in 23? Wait, 22. There we go. Bro, what's going on here with the internet today? YouTube's all over the joint. I bet you this. It's got to be the weather. It's got to be the weather you guys are going through right now. Okay? Got you, bro. We're good. I can understand that. You know what? To me, yeah, I'm with you, dude. Today, I mean, the weather in the East Coast is brutal. That's when, yeah, Dak said that they're going to win the Super Bowl. I remember. Yeah, what weather? Well, you must not be looking at the New England area, bro. Blame the weather controllers. Kim says, trade AJ to the Browns. They have a lot of picks. Yes. Still's blaming the East Coast Wi-Fi from California's nuts. How you doing? Yeah. They know Doug's coming out probably. Hey, that word Bob Lang. Yeah. All right. So, hey, dude. So give me, hey, John McMullen straddling the fence on AJ being traded. I'm saying 80-20. He's being traded. I'm not afraid of shit. 80-20. What's the percentages you think he's gone? Then we're going to move on. Bob Lang messing with the Wi-Fi from Indianapolis. What do you think the odds are? I got 80-20. Of course, man, I bring the best on for you guys. Yeah, you know what I felt? I got to tell you, I had a whole bunch of people, Jim Lampley on, Tim Kirchin, all these guys on my Sports Grid show. And I said, you know what we need, man? Hang on here. I got to make sure that homies in Philly get somebody. So, Dougie P, how you doing? He's like, I'm in. 70-30. Less than 100%. Guaranteed. AJ gone. AJ to the Raiders. AJ to the Raiders for a third in 2026 and a 1 in 27. I like that thinking, David. David, I like that. Give me a third rounder in the one you lost, and I'll do the 1 in 27. And then if I have to move off for Hurts, I'll have 2 1s. And the Raiders will still suck, and you'll get a top 10 pick. That's the way to think. That's thinking, David. That's thinking. That's how you build your team and retool your team. And you might find yourself a top offensive tackle like you did years ago when Lane Johnson was the 4th pick in the draft. That's smart thinking. I would want the Raiders too. Now a 2 and a 1 for AJ might be a little rich. So I think you're right. I think that's the deal. Hey, Raiders, can you imagine AJ Brown with Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty? And if this kid can be anything, Fernando Mendoza, that might look pretty decent. AFC West would look good. How about that? AJ Brown, and you would have Brock Bowers, AJ Brown, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, and Fernando Mendoza. And you'd have Clint Kubiak calling plays. All right. If I'm the Raiders, I'd do that. But would the Eagles do that? Would the Eagles do that? That means you'd get 2 threes? I like that. AJ's jealous of Bowers and Genty getting touches. Now, AJ's going to want to go in there, and he's going to want to show he's a teammate. AJ will fill up those seats in Vegas. Can you imagine AJ in Vegas? Oh, man. That's must-see TV. I might have to call the Raiders up. That's must-see TV. And you know what the Eagles have building their offense around? Devontae Smith, what's his name? Something Cooper, Darius Cooper. What's the other guy? Johnny Wilson. And Grant Calcaterra. That's a new offense in Philly. Grant Calcaterra playing tight end. Darius Cooper is your number 2. Devontae Smith 1. And the great, hey, shit, you might be forced to sign Jahan Dotson. Pretty good. Let's see. How did he do this last year, Darius Cooper? He's pretty good? Well, let's take a look at that. How good was Darius Cooper? This guy says he was pretty good. How good was Darius Cooper? Let me see here. Oh, yeah. 9 catches, 92 yards. He was pretty good. Man. Dude has been an issue in Tennessee, beefing with the GM, and now this. Wherever you go, there you are. AJ, a head case. There you go, Brandon. Start bringing that Philly hate out, man. That's what I'm talking about. What is your take on my super? You lagged out. Let me see, Tyler. Let me get back here. I learned how to scroll back, by the way. Okay, let me see here. Bob Lang messing with Wi-Fi. Okay, I didn't get that one. Here you go, Tyler. Thank you, bro. Can Cousins help Hurts learn anything? Worth a look? I'm keeping AJ until 4-4, no worse. If you trade AJ, it has to be for a defensive equivalent draft O-line. Let's see, free agency. There's really hey, when Trey Hendrickson is rated by Pete Prisco as the second best defensive and free agent prospect and the second best prospect, your free agency class blows. Okay? Hey, by the way, guys like AJ Brown, this is the perfect year to trade him. You know why? The draft stinks and free agency stinks. I mean, I'm cool with Goddard coming back. Yo, had Seals rereading that. Whatever, guy. Well, you don't like the fact that we called it that AJ would be traded? Shit, this was inevitable. You know when it became inevitable? When Jeffrey Lurie went down on the field, told him to shut the hell up. You want out? I'll make it happen. Okay? Like I told you, just like your quarterback. What about AJ for Crosby in a 2027 first-round pick swap? No way. I don't want Max Crosby. Max Crosby's a good player. You don't need him. You re-sign Jaelan Phillips and you keep hoping that Jalen Hunt continues to grow. I'm not interested in that. You're a better football team without him. Your defense wasn't the problem. AJ will cook this year with that, noodle arm quarterback? Yeah, the reading of the defenses. Steelers aren't letting Gainwell leave the building. They shouldn't. He had a really great year with them. Or Detroit. Texas boy. Actually, these Texas guys, these Cowboy fans, are turning out to be pretty good in here. Trade A.J. Brown and have nobody to replace him. Yeah, Eagles, do that and be a joke in the NFC East. Damn. Calling you a joke. Hey, you trade A.J. Brown, boy. I can't wait to see this shit. That's for damn sure. I can't. I can't wait to see this. Dude, this is wonderful content. This is just classic. Wait, look at this. I got a shitload of stuff here. Don't forget, at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have Doug Peterson. Says, how about AJ to the Raiders for either wide receiver Jack Beck or Trey Tucker in a 2027 first rounder? You know, I like that other deal. I'll trade you A.J. Brown for a third round in 26 and a first round in 27. The Raiders' first round pick. I like that deal. I want that deal. Give me a 3 this year. I'll trade you A.J. By the way, A.J.'s got to redo his contract for me to work too. Because I'm not eating that on my cap, or I'm not sending you anywhere, kid. And I'll make you miserable as much as you possibly will ever think of. As a matter of fact, AJ, we have now come to the conclusion, if you want us to be a dick, I'll turn you into the number 2 wide receiver on this football team right now and use you as a decoy all year long if you don't restructure that contract, if you want out so bad. And if you don't, shut the fuck up and play. Pick one. We're open to both. That's how I treat that player, and I guarantee you, that's how Jimmy Johnson would treat that player. He'd look at him in the face and go, I'm going to be fair with you here. And as fair as I can be. Okay? I'll send you. You got to redo that deal because we're not eating that cap. Okay? And I'll send you to a fair place so both get something out of this. Now, if you don't want to restructure your contract, sit your fucking whiny ass down. And I'm going to turn your ass into a number 2. You'll never, ever be considered the number 1 in this place. You'll be a decoy for the rest of your Eagle career. Or shut up and go along and get along. Pick one. I'm open to both. As a matter of fact, very few athletes get a chance to pick both. Either be treated like an asshole or a star. Pick one. You're that good, AJ. And I'm being as open and as honest as I can. That's how Jimmy would talk to him. I'm just being as honest and open as I can with you. Hey, I like you too, by the way. But when it comes to the business of football, that's a different conversation. That's a different deal. Do I like the player? Of course. Does the quarterback and him have some issues? Yeah. But I'm going to tell that guy, either shut the fuck up and play, or I'm going to make it miserable for you if you don't want to redo your deal. Or you want to play? We'll make everything great. But I'm sick of dancing around this bullshit. The Eagles have to also get off the pot here. They got to also do this. Nobody wants to go through this bullshit again. I don't want to see a guy reading War and Peace on the sidelines. And I don't want to see him moping. Moping? You're making $30 million and you're moping? Kiss my ass. Okay? I never thought of it like that. I said I didn't wish injury, but put your glasses on. AJ said Jimmy's offense sucks. Yeah. Jimmy's offense sucked at 3 Super Bowls. YouTube won't let me send a super. Damn, look at that. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you being there, dog. It's the shitty East Coast weather. Dr. Evil or something. I don't know. Fact sales. Give it. I mean, dude, listen. It's February 24th. I'm fucking tired of it. Let's go. Seals, you notice the trend of bringing in wide receivers that a quarterback had in college? Hurts, Smith. Yes. Yes. There is something to that. I think there's a relationship. Yes, I see that. Completely agree. Seals, Eagles are meeting with Goddard's agent at the Combine, according to Howie. Woo! Good. Good. You know what Goddard's seeing? Damn. Market says I'm only worth $6 million. Could I get 8? Howie saw it a year ago. You know, the one thing that he may have done that was right, Goddard's value has dropped as a player. His market value's dropped. But again, I think this market is not very hot. And you know what? I think a lot of these guys are going to get overpaid. Seals, will you ask Doug if the Eagles? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You guys can't send supers? That's bullshit. Thank you guys anyway. We will put you up here anyway. AJ's a goner. That's what I see too. Trev, I got you, bro. I don't want AJ to start dividing the locker room, which I think is already happening. What is he, Alshon Jeffries too? I guess that's a no. I don't know what you're talking about. Sales, look at Zane Durant. I'm looking at mid-round guys to replace Jomo. What does Bledsoe say? Twiz, I promise you, I'll have the full. I want to do this, Twiz. I'm going to get another Bledsoe report after the combines. They're going to have a better look at all these guys, okay? Let me see if I have anything on him now. It's kind of short. He's 6 feet, 290. It's not terrible, but you already have interior defensive tackles. So are you talking about like a later round guy? Because he's 6 feet, he's 290. That doesn't frighten me away from him, but great first step, disruptive potential, much more difficult to block on the move when gaming in fronts. That's Vic Fangio stuff. Can beat lateral zone blocks and find his way into the backfield. Excellent awareness. You got to play him in a 1 technique. You can't play him in a 2. Chases screens exceptionally well. Rare speed and short area quickness for defensive linemen. Weakness, smaller stature, shorter arms. That's not a factor. Put on skates and rolling out of gaps by down blocks. That means he plays high. That's a young guy thing. Can't play in schemes asking him to sit down and take on blocks. Well, that's a problem in that defense if they're playing 34. Unable to withstand longer block engagement. Testing, y'all liars. There you go, Sig. Thank you, Sig. Sills. The Dow is at 50,000. Well, if I get invited, I'll show. If I get invited, If I get invited, I'll show. Seals, why do you think AJ's production can't be replaced? 1,000 yards isn't special. In this scheme, they're less than need for a big-bodied wide receiver. Need more shifty wideouts. That's funny you should say that because that's some of the things that we're hearing a little bit different on what they're going to try to implement going into this new offense. Okay? So, yes. Yes. Let's see here. Still seem like AJ ruined the vibe on offense all year. No chemistry. Yes. Correct. I completely agree. All right. So let's go to the next elephant in the room here. Hit the like button. By the way, Doug Peterson at 3:30 will join us. He will join us at 3:30. The reason I like TJ Parker, he's got violent hands. Also, Clemson got a history of producing D linemen. They do. I think Dabo's done a really nice job at producing some really good defensive linemen. Really do. Thank you, Kyle. Does Hurts even have the arm talent for West Coast offense? Hell no. Hell no. Arm talent. You mean the pocket talent. He's got arm talent. He doesn't have pocket talent. That's what he doesn't have. Absolutely. Okay? So, here's the next elephant in the room. I had a conversation with Adam Kaplan again this morning. And Adam Kaplan came on the program on my weekend show and here and said that Jeff Stoutland got emotional and got up and walked out of the room. That's exactly what happened. Nick took over more of the responsibility of play calling on the run game. And Jeff Stoutland was, I want to use the exact word. Jeff Stoutland was insulted by Nick Sirianni's. I want to get it right. Jeff Stoutland was insulted by Nick Sirianni's involvement and him preparing for the run game. And Jeff Stoutland, as emotional as he is, took it as an insult when Nick got involved in the run game. They're not going to tell you that in Philly. And Nick Sirianni, Jeff Stoutland felt insulted. Now, here's how I'll answer that. Nick's the head coach. Like it or not. He's the head coach. He gets to do whatever he feels like. If he doesn't want to run a play, I've told you this shit before. Jimmy Johnson let his offensive and defensive coordinators run the offense and defense. If Jimmy wanted to do something in the second half because he had a lead, you know what he would say? Run the ball more. That's all he would say. Not telling you what plays to run. I want to run the ball more. I want to run that clock down. Let's run that clock down. And so they would start running run plays. They would make the calls on the run plays. Jimmy's not going, run a 38 toss. He's not doing that. But a head coach is going to do this. I think we need to kill the clock a little more. Let's run the football. That's not really telling anybody what plays to run. You're kind of shifting a gear. I don't want to do that. We're going to run the football here. Or we're going to throw the ball. We need to throw the ball more. That's a coach's prerogative. And this is where I'll support Nick on this. If Jeff Stoutland got his panties in a bind because Jeff felt that, according to Adam Kaplan, that Jeff Stoutland was insulted because Nick's involvement in the run game, well, head coach has that right to do that. It's his prerogative, right or wrong. He's the one that bites on the bit for it if he gets fired. So, I mean, I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying that's right. But in a way, I am. Like, that's his team. Like, Jeff Stoutland's ego, I think, got the best of him here. That, guess what? I'm the fucker that built this team. I'm the fucker that built this success. Well, guess what, Jeff? You're not the head man. So I as much as it pains me to say this, I got to go on Nick's side with this. It's his fucking football team. I mean, I'm sad that Jeff Stoutland got this emotional. And so I confirmed it with Adam Kaplan. Adam Kaplan goes, that's exactly what happened. And he said it on both my shows. Stoutland got too emotional. Nick never took anything away from him. Nick just got involved. And it insulted him to the point where he went in during the week of them restructuring the coaching staff. And according to Adam Kaplan this morning, that's exactly what went down. He got up and walked out, said, I quit. He actually said that, I quit. And Sirianni didn't want him to quit. Nobody wanted him to quit. So this Chris Cooper guy is just it's an emergency hire. It's an emergency hire. So this is not a guy to go, well, yeah, well, we thought of replacing Stoutland with this guy. That's not how that worked. They were not prepared for Stoutland to walk out and pout like that. Hey, so it wasn't Nick. The coach has every right to stick his face in where he sees needed. It may not be the smart thing. It may not be the right thing. But he has every right to do that. He's the head football coach. Whether you think he's got autonomy or not is completely irrelevant. Actually, I think Sirianni was trying to be respectful in a way by not demoting him and telling him anything and being more involved. Nick felt he needed to be more involved in the run game. Okay. They wanted to go more under center. Again, I got this all from Adam Kaplan. Okay. Sills, yes, Nick has the right to be a good CEO coach. Would he be able to maneuver through emotional issue and settle things down? Well, he has been able to settle things down. Every time there's something's gone sideways, he's not handled it well. By the way, here's the one thing that Nick Sirianni, in my opinion, could have backlash for this year. Basically, Jeff Stoutland threw a fit because he didn't like anybody meddling in his sandbox. And if this guy, Chris Cooper, shits the bed and that run game doesn't come back, you might alienate that old line with the head coach. I think Lane Johnson coming back, Lane Johnson came back because there's no way Jordan Mailata likes this, or Landon Dickerson, or Cam Jurgens, or even Tyler Steen. There's no way they like this. Taking directions from a guy who failed in Minnesota over a guy who's a legendary old lineman and one of the great old line coaches of all time. It totally makes sense now. Stoutland threw a fit. He lost his job, basically, because he lost his poise. Right or wrong? Hey, do I want Jeff Stoutland back? Absolutely. But if Jeff Stoutland is going to be as much of a handful inside the locker room and the coaching staff as much as AJ is, what's the difference? Boy, I'll tell you something, man. They had a lot of problems last year. They had a problem on the field and in the coaching staff. They had a problem with the way Nick handled the coaching in the run game, and they had a problem with the player on the field being involved in the pass game. They were never going to win. That's Nick Sirianni's responsibility. The head football coach has to keep those battles and those issues at a simmer. He can't let those things blow up in his team. And both those things obviously look like they blew up last year. That's the head coach. That's a failure on him. So Stoutland threw a fit. AJ was throwing fit. Where's the head coach? How you doing, Sills? What I missed so far? AJ's up for sale. Stout will come back once Nick is gone. Yeah, well, let me put this out here too. I don't want a position coach thinking that he's bigger than the head coach either. Everybody works for somebody in the world. We all know this. I think Jeff Stoutland's ego maybe got the best of him. It's all starting to come out. It makes complete sense now. This makes complete sense. Complete sense. Doug Peterson will join us, bottom of the hour. He's the best O-line coach, and we paid him more to turn down OC jobs after 22. Hey, look, man, I think losing him is a huge loss. But the way it went down was poorly handled by everybody. Poorly handled. That's true, Sills. The head coach is ultimately runs the show. Respect the title. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So the head coach comes in and the head coach wants to do things under center. Stoutland threw a fit on that? Jeff, you're all trying to get to winning games. And you may feel that you know how to win games, but the head coach has got to answer to the owner. You don't. He's got to handle, the owner. He's got to talk to the GM on a daily basis. And Nick's going to do shit. Any head coach is going to do shit that he thinks is in the best interest of winning, not in the best interest of you. Listen, you may think it's wrong, but the head coach, hey, bro, if he says something, you got to his way or the highway. No matter what he says, right or wrong. AJ going to sweet defense, going to be upgraded now. Let's see what they get back. Stout and Kelsey were too involved in this offense. Hurts will take another step this year. I do believe the involvement was true. As a matter of fact, let me go back here to this. Do you believe that these guys think that Jeff Stoutland and Jason Kelsey stunted Jalen Hurts' growth as a passer? Jason Kelsey ran all blocking protections. That was through Jeff Stoutland. He was the guy that was involved in the run game. Right? So get this. Jason Kelsey was the voice of Stoutland. And when Jason Kelsey's not in there, Jalen Hurts has to be more involved. Maybe Jalen Hurts said we need to do more under center. And that took Stoutland out of the building. Boy, they had more problems in there than you think. This wasn't Kevin Patullo's fault. They had conflict in that building and in that coaching staff between Stoutland and Nick Sirianni all year on the way the offense wasn't running the ball. They couldn't get the ball running. They couldn't get it running. I bet you Kevin Patullo complained out of his mind about the run game and the blocking schemes not being on the same page. I'll bet you anything. That's why Nick was defending Kevin Patullo and why they basically lost Stoutland was because they probably had a problem with him last year. Not as a passer, but general quarterback, yes. It's something that should be part of every quarterback's rep. Well, Jalen Hurts has never learned how to read progression reading in his entire career. And it was the first time he ever learned how to set protections. Dude, you learned that shit in high school. Sills, would you bring in Devontae Adams if the Rams don't sign him again? I didn't know he was a free agent. Devontae Adams is a spectacular player. Petula was scapegoated. The players loved him. Yeah, I think there was bigger problems. Here, let me give you guys I'll give you guys some insight on how coaches can sometimes be a nightmare. I'll give you two for instances. So, Jimmy Johnson, when he got the Miami Hurricane head coaching job, okay, it was so late in the process because Schnellenberger had left. There was a catch to it. Jimmy, you want the job? You have to retain the coaching staff that is already here. Next year, you can replace them and bring your own guys in. What a hell of a season we had. Coaches bitching, coaches fighting. You know the Flutie play? We didn't have a defense. Nobody called it down from the box. When Flutie threw that pass, the Hail Mary, the legendary Hail Mary, we didn't have a defense called. Jimmy was furious. Everyone started screaming, prevent, prevent, prevent. It was us. We were doing it. That's why they completed that pass. And when Jimmy got the Dallas Cowboy job, he promised Don Shula that David Shula could be the offensive coordinator. Oh, my God. You know the reason that Jimmy Johnson and Don Shula never saw eye to eye ever again? Because he had to fire David Shula. He was so terrible. Jimmy goes, as soon as that guy, he left, fired him because Jerry wanted David Shula as the OC. Fired him the next year. Told Jerry, never, ever pick a guy again for my coaching staff. That 1-in-15 year, that David Shula. Jimmy hated him. Sent AJ to the Browns for their 24th pick. Then we have back-to-back firsts. Give us trade options. I'll tell you what, Blaze. I like that one guy who said something earlier. Give me a 3 this year, 2026, and give me the Raiders 1 next year. And you can have A.J. Brown. I'll take that deal any day because I think the Raiders are going to blow anyway next year. Imagine this. If they win 5 games, you'd have like maybe the 3rd pick in the draft. And you could replace them with Jeremiah Smith. You make Jeremiah Smith and Devontae Smith. Hey, Don, that's pretty damn good looking. Seals, do you agree? Move off AJ a year early rather. Yes. Yes. That's the Patriot way. David, that's your call. David called that. I like that. So what do you guys make of Jeff Stoutland? I got a different opinion on that now. Jeff Stoutland thought he was bigger than the head coach. That doesn't work. Head coach's voice is the top voice. Whether you like him, you like Ray Perkins, or whether you like a coach who's not a very good one, that's irrelevant. When you're in an NFL team, everybody knows that, of course you don't believe it, Abe. Of course you don't. Multiple people are now saying it, that Jeff Stoutland was insulted by Nick Sirianni being involved in the run game. And he was insulted by it. Okay? He was insulted. Got up, walked out. Basically quit. So let's say you get Raiders pick for 27. I'm thinking bigger. You get the quarterback next year, draft, whether it's Manning or Sellers. Okay? Could be too, depending what happens with Ertz. Big Sills is calling you to ask him a question. Sills, What would you like to see the Eagles do in 26? Trade A.J. Brown and get your picks. And get yourself set up for the next 2 years. Because you know why? Let me ask everyone this question. Do you know why I've been doing that exercise with Xander? And I did it with JAKIB yesterday. Let's go down that exercise again. What do we think Jordan Mailata is going to be in the next 5 years? You think he's going to be here? I do. Jordan Mailata. In the next 5 years, do you guys believe that Landon Dickerson will be a starting left guard? I don't. How many people believe in the next 5 years Landon Dickerson will be the starting left guard? How many people believe he will? How many people? Anybody? Okay, nobody believes that. So, left guard. How many people in the next 3 to 4 years thinks that Cam Jurgens is going to be there? I don't. So how many people believe the right guard is not going to be interchangeable? Right guard will always be interchangeable. Can't pay everybody 20. And Lane's last year. So in the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to need a left guard, a center, a right guard, and a left tackle. What's the point of having a receiver worth $30 million in that time frame when you're rebuilding your old line? In the next 3 years, you have to rebuild this old line if you're going to be a contender. Now, if Landon comes back, which is after 13 surgeries, anybody really believe that guy's going to be a top flight left guard ever again? What's the point of having a $50 million quarterback and a $30 million wide receiver when your offensive line is going to be interchangeable and you don't have Jeff Stoutland in the building picking and choosing these next to heir apparents? Hey, and for the record, Howie Roseman, the last couple years, like 4 or 5 years, how about them offensive linemen they picked the last 2 years? Cam Jurgens, looks like he's going to have a short window. Okay, hey, how about this? How many people think I'm full of shit that the offensive line will not be retooled in the next 3 to 4 years? I asked you the questions. How many people believe that? Left guard, center, right guard, left tackle. Left tackle for sure is out. Left tackle's right guard is interchangeable the last 4 years. Center's injured. Of course you do. Hey, dude. Okay, whatever. I like Trevor Keegan, and he got poached off the practice squad. Okay, what I'm saying is you're going to have to rebuild that entire offensive line. That's going to be the top priority for the Eagles over the next 3 drafts. It's going to be O-line. You got to start replacing these guys. Your center's down in Brazil working on whatever. Your left guard is on 13 surgeries. Your right tackle's retiring after this year. I mean, that's not hypothetical. That's all real. That's all real. Jurgens is low-key having a Kelsey start. Wasn't Kelsey injured a lot in the beginning? Kelsey had a back injury? I thought it was ankles and knees. Seals linemen take 3 years to become legitimate starters. This guy's really good today, and you're on your A game here. Really good. Mailata, Jurgens, Steen, Kelsey, Brooks. Yes. Offensive linemen traditionally take longer to develop because there's more skill set with those guys. There's more technique. You play with more technique in the offensive line than you do with the defensive line. There's no doubt. He did have elbow issues as well. That makes sense. By the way, I do believe, listen, I'll say it one more time to you guys, that listen, offensive linemen take a lot more time to develop. You know why they take more time to develop? There's more technique involved when it comes to O-line. When you're a defensive football player, it's like wind these guys up and let them run into walls. Offensive linemen take incredible technique, slipping and scooping, reach blocking, fan blocking, zone blocking, man blocking. That's why you see the majority of these older offensive linemen, like a guy like Trent Williams, being that good and being that good, that long, and that old, like a Jason Peters. Why do you think Jason Peters was asked to come back to the NFL when he was 42? You know how hard it is to master that technique? That guy's a freak show. He was a tight end when he first initially came into the league. And when you get freak shows like that, it's incredible. Hey, I'll tell you what, we're very excited to get this man on here.